Hey, Cubus. How's it going? Oh, my live stream alert didn't work. It actually didn't fire, and I know why. StreamerBot does not run in the background, so I have to have it open. Catch though. All right, ads are over. Welcome back. It's a fresh week here. Nice short holiday week. I don't know where we left off on Friday. I don't think we had saving and loading done. I think there were some issues, but I fixed it. Working on it over the weekend. It says the game fails to load. There we go. Yeah, so we can draw some arbitrary shape. Doesn't really matter what kind of shape. Just something that's like very clearly not something we had before. So let's take this. Save it. We already had undo redo. We just saved that. Now let's relaunch. Load it. We've got saving and loading of Tom app data, which is great. We don't have a more complex system yet for like, you know, creating new files with file names and stuff like that. We'll need more of an interface to handle that, but it's fine. We just need the one test ship at the moment. Yeah. Now build and save ships, which is great. It's all picking the same set of tiles, which is less than great. So I think what we need to work on this week is mainly autotiling. Autotiling is the goal for this week. How was your weekend? All right, so where do we start? Well, what I was thinking of in terms of starting, been like we have these crazy tile maps. This one's probably easier to see with all the different outline combinations, which essentially represent the edges that may meet up. We have this crazy tile map, but we need to index into it, and the obvious way to do that, let's sketch it out just for a layer. Say bitwise neighbors. Draw out a little bitwise neighbor diagram very quickly. Say 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn the grid on for a second so I can see what I'm doing. Yeah, our main task today is to, not today, the whole week probably, is to get an auto tiling system so that we can account for, these are a few of the different possible matchups, and you can kind of see how the individual, tile changes depending on what its neighbors look like. So we like lose an outline there, and there. And it's just so we don't have an outline every single... And this isn't like a real world... Like, this isn't like probably the real world test, because these are going to be textured eventually. But I think it's still good because it represents where the seams are. So we're going to still use a similar organizational system. It gets a little more complex when we do the walls, because the walls have to consider where the floors are, which is exactly why we're doing our own auto tiling system, is because our auto tiling system needs to be aware of more than just one layer. So like the dark wall tiles are wall tiles that aren't exposed to a floor tile. Because when a wall tile is exposed to a floor tile like this, that represents an interior space. At least this kind of a floor tile. We also have these floor tiles, which represent like entombed or exterior spaces. But anyway, so we have these, we're starting to graph out these relationships, and we need to work on the auto tiling part. So as an example, we'll draw this out. How did it get wrong already? Oh, this one's in the wrong spot. Did I mention I didn't sleep enough? I make stupid mistakes, that's why. All right, so this is our relationship, which is equivalent to having like a box, which I might end up drawing the box, depending on if I can fit the letters in here or not. By letters, I mean numbers. We'll say like 0, Maybe I just grab my numbers. Layer. Numbers. Template. Oh, Lord. They're too big. Shrink them down to a good size. Maybe not this good a size. This is right. Okay. So will these fit in here? Not exactly. So I might come up with a facsimile. Or we just let them be like this. We let them stick out. Maybe we do that. So we'll say 1 is going to be this right here. This neighbor. This being the center. We'll just go around. Set up all our neighbors. I think some of these turned out wrong. Let's fix these. God. That's right. And same thing happened to this one. Go. So we'll go around the edges, and we're basically setting up bit flags. And we need to use the corners for reasons that would be more clear if I actually finished my little diagram. But as you can see here, if the one we're looking at is this one, it matters where the corners are. I'm like one of those people that kind of needs to visualize. I really need to visualize what I'm working on. So I tend to draw out these little diagrams. Or I get lost very quickly. We'll keep working our way around. I need to switch layers when I paste them in. And this is a pretty well understood problem, how you do this sort of thing. Our complication is just in needing to compare multiple layers. The floor layer really needs to look at the wall layer to know what it should do, and the wall layer really needs to look at the floor layer. So there is some circular dependency there. We need to figure out how to handle that. Well, it shouldn't be a problem because it's not like a floor is ever going to make a wall not a wall. It just determines which wall we pick, so I guess that isn't really a circular dependency. Because we're not looking at which wall we pick, we're just looking at, is there a wall or not? Oh, I forgot the 2. This 2 needs to be on this layer. There we go. This actually isn't correct. And we'll get into why that is. So this is them numbered naively, 1 to 8, because that's the number of neighbors. But that is not sufficient for us. We need... kind of wish I'd done this a little differently. Move these out of the way. Make another one. Yeah, and I wish I had done a little differently. I might... Is this the same color? Yeah, it is. Okay. I might darken this a little bit. What color is this? This middle color here. That's fine. What color is this? Is this the lightest color? Oh, no, it's not. So let's do that. Make those pop. Just make these numbers pop a little more. So I need another one of these. And because I'm an idiot, I need to draw this again. Yeah, I'm pretty excited for this week. The saving and loading and the undo redo functionality came together surprisingly quickly. We did both of those last week. So I don't mind if we end up spending most of this week on autotiler. Then we're going to be in a really good place to just start making ship designs, iterating on ship designs. I feel like that's going to be one of our main activities in this game. As a designer, he's going to be coming up with good ship designs and ship components and stuff that work together well. So this is one of those cases where like part of your brain tells you to just work on the game, to just start making content, but you got to have good tools, especially if it's something you think you're going to be doing a lot. Okay, so this is the ordering just 1 through 8. So these are the 8 neighbors. However, this is not how, if we're going to be doing this, we need these to be bitwise. We need these to be bit flags, essentially. So we actually need to go. So we'll start the same way. But 1, 2, then we are going to go straight to 4. Eight. Yeah, the Thursday is a holiday. I'm off work. I think we're going to do a long stream on Thursday if anyone's around. Let's see. Our last holiday stream ended up being very quiet, but we're going to try again. It's supposed to be a heat wave, so we'll see how many nerds end up staying indoors. One, 2, 8, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. Really doesn't pop very well. Maybe we flip it so that these lines are dark. I don't know. Who cares? It doesn't matter. As long as you can tell what's basically going on there. Just an example. I think diagramming is important, but at the same time, it's like, it's not the content. Just put in as little effort as you need to be able to reason about what you're working on. This Aseprite add-on might be handy, by the way. Ooh, might it be? By Dark Wark. Isobox for Aseprite. Let's take a look at this. Cubus with the property help. Oh, look at this. size left, size right, height 10. Oh, this is cool. I think this only works with isometric. Yeah, because all you do is specify a size and a height. But this sort of thing is super cool. I mean, I'm sure we could adapt this. It's also 5 years old, which is a little concerning. But this is cool. Yeah, because we're not actually using isometric, we're using dimetric. I don't think this works, but I do like this. I'm gonna bookmark this because if I end up doing a jam or something, this could be useful. Mark that, organize it later. No, mine is not technically isometric. If you notice, it's 4. It's 4 over and then 1 down or up or whatever. It's 4 horizontal for each vertical, whereas standard isometric is 2 by 1. We're doing 4 by 1. So we have way more of a side-on perspective than someone doing isometric, which I think is cool. It's unique, but it is definitely also a pain. It's definitely also been causing trouble. Yeah, it's part of the reason we spent all that time on the cutaway stuff, because isometric walls only block one wall behind them, but our stupid walls block 3 walls behind them because they're not isometric. I'm going to generally refer to this as being an isometric game, though, probably. Everyone's probably going to call it that anyway, because most people don't use the word dimetric. And the people that do are the people that would be like, well, actually, pixel art is rarely isometric. It's technically dimetric. It's like, no, get out. I don't care about axonometric projections. It looks like a single value change to adapt it. Okay. Isometric guidelines, Lua. This Sprite scripts. Is this like a? Oh, is this the same thing? Okay. No, this looks like something different. Oh, this just has isometric guidelines. That's pretty sick. I might use this for sure. Nice. Yeah, you just change this. Good find. We'll look at plugging this in. Mark this. Actually. Oh yeah, sure. Good looking out for me. Must drive you insane how like inefficient my processes are sometimes. It should drive me insane, but I care a lot less. Okay, so here's our neighbors as bit flags. The problem, this only gives you just a simple byte or a simple set of flags that's like, here are your neighbors. We actually need more information than this because we need to know what the neighbors are and whether they're floors or walls. The easy way people handle this is they just use this number and they just set it to a power. So if there's 2 tile types, they'll just use a power of 2. So if there's no tile here, it could be like 1 times 0. If there's like a floor tile here, it could be, 1 1 to the power, and not 1 times 0, you know what I mean. 1 to the power of 0, 1 to the... It's confusing. It's confusing when I try to describe it, but it makes sense, I promise. This is kind of what we're doing. I'm not convinced whether I should continue diagramming out these relationships. I kind of wanted to, because I ended up making these huge tile sets that are just like subtle changes. But the thing about these is a lot of these tiles, if you just are using like an indexing system... That was the wrong link, but also handy. Yeah, it seemed like that was to some cool isometric guideline tools, which I liked. That seems like an easier modification to Ace Right, honestly. We don't need this. But yeah, here, if you look here, a lot of these are like totally unreachable. Like we're never going to have, like there's never going to be, there will always be an outline between this wall and this wall on one side or the other. So like a bunch of these tile combinations are not realistic, which is kind of what made me want to draw them out a little bit. I actually kind of want to split this further. Can we make another layer that's floor and wall? So if we did that, we would actually copy these over. So I'm gonna move the floors down a bit, like here-ish. The other one also doesn't look hard to adapt. Just change the factor times I in the ISO line X method. But you also need 5 pixel corners. 5 pixel corners? Oh, is that because... Are they doing this different? Because one way to do it is this, which is what I'm doing. Which is like... There's 2 pixels here. Or there's 4. Like, this is a regular shape. Do you mean something else? Like, are they doing... Are they reducing this to only have one pixel at the corner? I don't know. There's a number of ways that you can do isometric. All right, so here are the floors. Let's grab our bitwise neighbors. These over here. Maybe put these side to side instead of where they currently are like. All right, so I'm a little torn on some of this. Whether, so if, let's say we use the cutaway system and we like hide some of these tiles, should that cause the autotiler, should that re-trigger the autotiler to go in and then change them to like this? Like, let's say we have this arrangement and then we remove these front two. Should that cause the autotiler? Like just with the cutaway, not like a permanent change. Because otherwise it's going to expose this interior. I guess I'm okay with. It's probably better. I really don't want to run the autotiler at runtime. Or not at runtime, but you know, like in the game while the game is running and doing game things. I don't want it to be running when we're doing this. Or like cutting away the visuals. This is not, this would be a bad time for the autotiler. So yeah, so I think we'll just be acceptable. We'll be okay with there being weird because the point is getting rid of as many outlines as possible. Have nice solid shapes like this instead of what we currently have, which are like very unintelligent, really grid-like shapes. We don't want this. All right, we've got an ads in a second. I did some thinking about the game on like a long walk on a Sunday. Sunday. I had a lot of thoughts about the structure of the game, like how FTL is like tied to, you know, the quest to get to the rebel flagship and save the rebel base. Like it's just that progression. Thought about the progression for this game. I think I'm pretty happy with the direction we're headed. It's leaning very heavily into like Star Trek patterns of storytelling. I don't know why I'm talking about this during an ad break. That seems like kind of rude, actually. I'm gonna go back to drawing. All right, so these are all based around this tile. These are all describing the relationship to this back tile, but I guess it's equally valid. So I guess we need to keep going. I guess I'm just demonstrating different combinations. But anyway, this is kind of what I was thinking. Was we structure the game around the 5-year mission. So we base it around the idea that these crews and these ships are you know, commissioned for 5 years. And you do that. You do the 5-year mission with your ship and your crew, going around doing missions, having adventures. I think that could be really fun. Make some more space. And then I thought of an epilogue sort of deal, which would be like the difference between like Star Trek the motion picture and like Star Trek like the original series, where like after the 5-year mission is over, there's like a big time jump and then the crew and your ship are brought back together for like one final adventure, and that's like the essential. That's equivalent of like the boss battle. I think that could be fun. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Can I select more than one layer at a time? Of course I can. And that way, oh, that didn't work. Hey, Ferlansky, how's it going? How have you been? Move this over more. I'm trying to make some room so I can draw out some more stuff here. I can also just make the canvas bigger, I guess. That's probably what we should do. Do that. That's pretty good. I can show you some stuff. Probably seen the tile cutaway system that we have for visualizing the insides, the interior areas of the ship. That's going okay. I have some ideas for changes. I don't really like how it works with doors. I don't want to change how doors function. So we have that. And then to facilitate making some new ships, because our current ship is horrible, we have our little tile map editor tool, which gives us 5 or 6 layers to work on, so we can draw, we can erase, we can draw, we can undo, we can redo, we can make these things. This is all stupid. And then what I figured out over the weekend, which is pretty great. So let's just draw a bunch of junk. Doesn't really matter what we draw. Just needs to look unique. We can draw all this nonsense. Yeah, this is to build ships in the game. So now we can save this. Save this little construction. We'll close the runtime. Relaunch it. Now we can load it. So we've got serialization for the tile maps. We've got undo redo. What we're working on right now is the autotiling tool. So that we can, because I don't know, you probably noticed, but we have everything looks pretty horrible here. It's just very unintelligently just placing down the most basic version of the tile. So they've all got these horrible outlines everywhere. Which is not what we want. We want it to look more like this, where this is all very smooth. We've eliminated the outlines where they don't need to be for the most part. Not with the tops, but I actually need to improve that. But the walls and the floors are very smooth. And I'm not doing that by hand. I refuse to do that by hand anymore. So we need a little auto tiler. How do you select tiles and such? How much of a pig was the save and load? It was okay. We're doing it really stupidly. We're like doing this the simplest way that we could. Oh, how do you select which tiles to paint? It's just, so that one's easier, so I'll answer that first. So we select which tiles to paint by basically just saying, where is it? Somewhere in process. Here we go. Mouse position, we get the global mouse position, mouse coords. We just find, and the tile maps have this built into it. So for whatever layer we're on, you can take a local position and convert it to a tile map position. You just need to convert the global space to the layer's local space, and then convert that to a mapping. Godot tile map have auto tiling terrains for ISO maps. It sort of. There's also a plugin you can use, which is pretty good. The problem is multifold. Their solutions are approximate. They're like best match. So they're not very deterministic. And they do not account for multiple layers. So everything has to be on a single layer, which we cannot do. So that's a number of reasons. And also there's, you know, runs in the editor, and we want something that runs in game. But anyway, for Lansky, for save and load, it was pretty easy. We make it really easy for one thing because our undo redo, we basically take a snapshot, which is this little custom class, which just takes the tile map data for all of the tile maps, like all of the tile map layers, and packs them in. And then when we need to save or load, we basically do the same thing. We take, except that we take the layer count and the layer sizes, and we put these as headers on the tile map data, the packed tile map data, so we know like how many layers there are, what each of their sizes are. And so we're basically just saving one packed byte array, and we're just writing that to a file, to a data file. And then so we pack that, and then when we unpack it, we just turn it back into one of these tile map snapshots. And we can use these tile map snapshots for undo redo. We can use them for save and load. They're kind of nice. It's kind of overkill for something like saving or something like undo redo, but I'm glad that we have them. I want to auto tile 3D. No, not necessarily 3D. Here's the problem. So like here's a deck, a ship deck, like one deck of a ship. It has 4 layers. It has a floor layer, it has a wall layer, it has other layers like a door layer, which technically the door and the wall layer could be one layer. I am considering doing that in the future. We have maybe decoration layers, which we might actually need more than one. But we have multiple different layers, and I like it. I prefer to keep it this way rather than try to squeeze everything onto a single layer. But even then, I tried the built-in auto tiler, and I also tried let's look for the plugin. It was called like Better Terrain or something like that, maybe. Why is the search bar not working? Get me out of the tile map. Just let me search the... Okay, it's not letting me search. Oh, go online. What? Okay. Better terrain. I'm like, what do you mean go online? I'm streaming. Yeah, better terrain. This one's pretty good and actually has support for some complex stuff. It only supports tile map, not tile map layer. So I figure we've got a brand new node to deal with, which is the tile map layer, which isn't super well supported anyway. We might as well come up with our own solution. And the solution runs in game, so that'll be nice. They do Y sort. Like walls Y sort. Doors need to Y sort with walls. Floors don't really need to Y sort with walls, so floors are on a different layer. But where the floor is impacts where the walls are, because like you'll notice that the walls that are either locked into an interior or exposed to outer space are dark gray, whereas the walls that are next to an interior are light gray. So we're going to have like interior spaces and exterior spaces, and also in between spaces, like the spaces between two wall tiles. So I don't know how to communicate the interior exterior stuff without having these be, I don't know. Well, and also we need the floor layer on the wall layer to be separate, because when we're doing the cutaway, yeah, hey Renegade, yeah, call me whatever you like. Just don't call me late for dinner. Oh, it's not in this version, but if you'll notice when we cut away a wall, it leaves a hole in the ground. I don't want that anymore. I want there to be a floor tile that remains. That's like a cut apart version of the wall tile. There are reasons. Stop interrogating me. I have reasons. I can't always remember what all the reasons were. But I swear they were sufficient when I made the decision to do this. All right, let's keep going here. Right now we're visualizing different auto tile combinations. Just because I naively made like these enormous tile maps of all the potential combinations. But it's kind of ridiculous. Like most of these would never be reached by in any practical circumstance. These are just like all the technically possible combinations of outlines and faces. So I'm trying to right now just kind of visualize where what the actual combinations are, and we're going to use that to build up a tile set that works for us. You're not familiar with FTL, but you think it's a space game? Yeah, it's kind of like what if Star Trek was like a little tactical strategy game, and we're kind of riffing on the same idea. I'm kind of doing the 3D chess version of it, though, where I've added multiple layers to the decks. So there's like 5 or so layers of the decks instead of just one flat layer. So there's some verticality to it, which is unique. All right, so let's put some more wall tiles back here. So like we could have be a tile here. These are exploded views of what would happen if, like, you know, brought them together. Yeah, I hope your what was to my, like, blindly making the tile set of all the possible combinations. So here is a tile surrounded on all sides by another wall. So we can actually, we know how some of these look already. So we can, like, take this one, and we can move these down here. Because, oop, why did that not work? There we go. Move these down here, and this has already eliminated some of the outlines. It seems like we don't care about diagonals, which would be really good. If we can do a version of this where we only care about our edgewise neighbors here. So like part of doing this for me is just an exercise in visualizing it. Which if we're gonna be working on this all week, I would like to be able to visualize this. So this we're also gonna be getting rid of a lot of the outlines. For this one in the middle, we're getting rid of absolutely all of the outlines, because on all sides it has tiles. I should split these up a little more so they're not touching. That'll probably be good. Okay, good. mean, not great, but that's what I figured. This is going to look super weird when it's cut out, but the point is that this is like a block that's like surrounded on all sides. So similarly, let's say this. We're going to get rid of this one because there's a tile to the right. Why? Oh, I see. I see. Also, lock your background. Look. I'm trying. I made layers. I'm trying here. What you want from me? Basically, we only want outlines when we've reached the edge of a shape. So this has an outline because there is no tile here. Similarly, there's no tile here in our little exploded view. The two side corners don't have tiles. There is a tile here, though, so we're going to get rid of this. So these are the same. These are not the same, the top and the bottom here. So we're starting to see some patterns. Eventually, we're going to come up with a system that uses bit flags to come up with an index into the source ID, the Atlas coords. Oh, you were trying to cut out double outlines. You use the fill bucket, you can set the connectivity to be 8 ways from the little slider at the top. What? Bucket tool, connectivity, or symmetry. Tolerance? Is that what you mean? I've not used the bucket tool very much. I mean, that would kind of work. The tiny sliders. Oh, these. Oh. Eight ways. So what does that do? Oh. I mean, that's kind of doing the most, but that's cool. And if I change that to 4 ways, what does it do now? Oh, okay. That's cool. That's good to know the difference there. We don't really have... The double outlines are like... So, like... I don't really think of them as double outlines, but maybe they are. The difference... So, like, this represents one side, these outlines. So this is, like, one side of the box. The tiles share their vertical borders. So, like, if I don't know if this is anything close to what you're talking about, but like some borders are shared. Like if I connect these two tiles, you'll notice that the vertical borders like this go away. They overlap. The horizontal borders do not. So I guess it does create the look of a double outline. So we are kind of, as we add more adjacency, we are getting rid of outlines, essentially, because we're making continuous shapes. Like this outline is missing because these two shapes will be, next to each other. Which is why we're getting rid of that outline. Maybe give each side a different color. That would probably be good in the long run. At the moment, I'm trying to use the color to mean something different. So like This lighter color means that there's a floor tile, and this is an interior space. I'm using the light tile to mean this is an exposed interior space, and I'm using the dark tile to mean that these are, like, basically entombed. Like, these floor tiles will have walls over them. So, like, these wall tiles are dark because there's basically going to be this wall tile over them. Whereas these wall tiles are, or these floor tiles are light because they're exposed. So I'm trying to use the light, but it is admittedly confusing. Oh yeah, you're new to Godot and game dev, so you know you've asking questions and providing no help. Also new to coding. Well, no worries. Welcome. Also, one Boxy Llama. Thank you for the follow. Sorry I missed that. I need to get some alerts. I need to get some alerts up in here. I've got StreamerBot. No excuse. But yeah, I'm relatively new to Godot. I picked it up last year, for reasons. But I was a Unity hobbyist developer for about 15 years before that, so I have instincts on what to do. But I am also still pretty new to like expressing those in Godot. But I'm happy to help however I can, regardless. Luckily, we've got you know, real experts like Cubus and some others who swing by on occasion. Help me out. Keep me honest here. Okay, so here's another combo. Let's just do this last set. It's kind of redundant, but it's mostly redundancy is okay because it helps reinforce patterns. My mind's eye. We need to make some more space. I'm here to absorb your brain, Cubus. Brains. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure Cubus has enough brains for the both of us. Cubus is like our productivity expert. Usually I have like a really stupid process that I'm doing because I'm not super familiar or comfortable with the tools. This is also my first major foray into pixel art. This is kind of where we envision the art of the game to kind of end up. Kind of in this kind of classic Star Trek, like blocky colors, big bright blocky colors look. But we have to do it ourselves, so it's probably going to take a while to get there. But what are you working on, Deep Space Renegade? Are you like just following tutorials? Do you have like a little project? Because I tend to learn best when I've got a project that I've actually invested in, which is part of the reason why I'm making this in Godot. This was like a project that I'd been prototyping in Unity for like years in different variations. And I got to the point where I knew I was going to basically do a new version of it. Like my last prototype, the results of it sent me in a pretty different direction from what I was doing before. And for that and reasons, I was like, well, I should just try to remake this in Godot. That's what I should do. And I say remake, but I just mean make, pretty much. Okay, so... Oh, Lord. I'm unsure where to cut off this vertical line. Oh, we don't actually want it in this case. So it's not a big deal. Yeah, so we're seeing how just very few sections of the outline remain. Get rid of the grid for a second. It makes it hard to see. I should have picked better colors that kind of popped more, but your brain went weird ways with interpreting that. That just sounds like your brain went into like kind of a self-defense mechanism. Like, so the player has a spaceship and defends the cargo ship, and you have to battle waves of enemies until you get to the space station drop-off. Oh, cool. Okay, so it's like an escort mission style thing. Hey, Adagon. How's it going? How's it popping? We're out here visualizing our autotiler, how our autotiler is going to work. Just to try to make some sense of this like weird combinatoric tile map that I made before. Which is, this is one of those cases where like pretty much everyone can use like the 47 tile blobs. They don't need to necessarily make these enormous tile sets just to cover the autotiler combinations. So I'm just trying to visualize our autotiler combinations, which are a little more complicated because we actually have to pay attention to what the wall and the floor are doing to know what's going on. That's good for a first game. That's good. Yeah, that's it could get complicated for sure. I mean, don't ask me. Like, I've done some jam games, but I'm also kind of going a little overboard for my first big game here. Okay, so here are all of the outlines remaining if we fully entomb a tile like this. However, this is a little misleading because it looks like we don't care about diagonals is what I'm getting. Fix this. So far, it looks like we don't care about diagonals. Just looking at these different patterns. Oh, that's fine. We're gonna paint these away just for my own sanity, but we actually don't need to do this because of the way vertical lines are shared. That said, I'm still going to paint them away just for my own. Yeah, it seems possible, but it is true that, you know, having multiple stages, not stages, but you could probably do that with one stage, this escort mission, but having, you know, escort missions are hard, honestly. I don't think escort missions are hard in terms of, like, implementation necessarily, but they're definitely hard to make fun. Like, everyone, like, groans when they have to do, like, an escort mission, generally. But that's me. That's just my feelings on escort missions. I need to make some more room here. Not giving myself as much room as I would like. Let's move this down. But yeah, Cubus is right in terms of, like, the best thing to do is to break your problem up into small pieces. And then assemble those small pieces together to make the bigger thing. And if that ends up being, you know, one game, great. If that ends up being multiple games, you know, to be able to get all those pieces together, also great. That's part of the reason I'm okay spending a lot of time on this kind of tool set. Because I could see this tool set working for us in a lot of cases. Like, what if I get to my next game jam and I decide I need saving and loading and undo redo and all this tool stuff? Well, it's like, well, I've already got it. Yeah, escort missions do have a bad rap, but that's the advice that I've gotten a lot. Not maybe me personally, like it's not been issued to my face, but the advice I hear a lot for beginners is don't necessarily, you know, build a game right off the bat. Build systems. Build systems that you would use to make a game. Adagon is a master of this. I don't know if Adagon's still here, but Adagon has a whole templating system that has basically components for all the functionality that you would need for a game. So Adagon can be like, well, I need to add music to my game. And it's like, well, the music template is already written. And I'm sure you gotta, you know, every game is different. You gotta make some changes to accommodate the needs of the specific game. But already having a lot of that functionality just ready to go is huge. Okay, so I think this is essentially it. Yeah, it's interesting. So this, for this tile, having a corner, so if we were only looking at this tile, having the corner or not be here doesn't seem to matter. Doesn't seem to affect it. We could also do some things with mirroring to make this easier, maybe. What I'm thinking. Possible. Yeah, that modular type code you can modify sounds awesome. Doesn't the positioning of two walls already hide the horizontal line between them? Yes, it does. It hides the stuff up here. You're right. So this line would be hidden by whatever's in front of it. So I don't really need, so if a tile thing is here, I need to hide this line because this line won't be hidden, but you're right in that if they're Y sorted, which they are, this line will be hidden. Assuming, you know, there's a wall in front of it on this side. I'm just doing this just for my own visualization at the moment. But yes, I acknowledge that that's very much the case. It kind of doesn't matter what those pixels look like. So yeah, like this one, these are the back ones. So the back ones do matter because this tile's in front of the one behind it, but the tiles in front, or the lines in front like this don't matter. And you see that with the floors here. So like I kept it consistent. I should keep it consistent with the walls too. So you'll see with the floors, this tile is always the same here in terms of like this top part as we go across this one and this one, this one, this one. Even though it's got tiles in front of it on different sides, yeah, it doesn't need to get rid of those horizontal lines because they're just going to be covered up when the tile moves in front of it. So yes, very astute observation. I'm being inconsistent now. Maybe these boxes should have like the compact version and the exploded view both. So you're right. So like I could... So I need to get rid of this over here. This one's in front. So I need to get rid of this line. But I could add the line back in here, which I guess I should do because we're trying to determine the number of unique tiles we actually need. So let's do that. It was a little cleaner for my visualization to not have that. But I think it's right. So same with this. So we can just add this line in front back in because it doesn't matter. This tile will just override what's there. That. Let's see if this helps me visualize this better if I include both the compact version of it and the loose version of it. There we go. Maybe something like this. A way for me to associate the exploded view with its actual view. Oh god, they're not even. Why did I do that? Could have done it differently. It's actually gonna work. Getting distracted by something that doesn't matter. There we go. Something like that. We see the three tiles all together, and then this is them all exploded apart. Yeah, I think that's helpful to me. And in fact, put another one here. All right. We got ourselves a smiley face here. All right. Yeah, I find this is helping me. Let's hide these for now. Floor plus walls. We're working on floor only. Floor plus walls is probably going to be the most complicated combination. Looks like a devious smiley. Yeah, it does. And we could handle this in the tile set a couple of ways. We could just mirror. See how we end up doing that. So let's take a couple more of these. So let's get you out of the way for now, just for the moment. Bitwise neighbor things can go. Some room here. We're gonna move these up. We're going to copy this, paste it. Here. People that can kind of just like imagine this stuff in their head without any visual aid are like pretty incredible to me. So let's add back in. So we said we don't need to remove these, and we don't, because they do not determine what is rendered. We're going to add these back in just because at the end of this, when we're all done with this, once we've actually mapped out all the possible combinations, we're going to pull all of these tiles, and that's what we're going to use to make our tile set. Instead of just mathematically determining all of the possible combinations, like naively, we're going to actually determine the effective ones. This one's more of a sad face. So we have a devious smile. Now we have this like sad buddy here, which I guess I could have made a smile by doing it the other way. But that's what we ended up doing, and I don't think it really matters, so we're going to keep that one, because that's funny. And a good spot for it. Here, maybe. A little more room. Kind of tired today, so this is kind of a nice activity for me. We'll do the hard thinking another day. I'm having a lazy Sunday. Not Sunday, it's Monday. God. No, it's not even Monday, it's Tuesday. Oh, I don't even know what day it is. Not good. All right, we gotta move. We gotta move these big boys out of the way here. We're gonna need room. Why did I make these on different layers? Different layers, they said. That's rough. Rough stuff. Let's do negative first. So let's get this one. So we're going to fix these. First thing, we're going to fix these tiles just to prove a point that we've proven many times that no longer needs to be proven. Grab these. Oh, I joined a stream team, by the way. I'm in the indie game developers stream team. How nice is that? Oh, F me. I painted this on the wrong layer. Yeah, if you're ever not sure who to check out, a lot of cool people in that team. Adagon's in that team. Teenerdy Nerds is in that team. Some good friends of the channel are in that stream, or that stream team. I don't know if Tabugi is in that stream team yet. They're on vacation, so maybe not. I need to double check. So let's move this one out of the way. Combine these two. Like this. And then throw this one in there. We've got this shape. You know half of them? Of course you do, Cubus. Yeah, watching Fox Hollow play your jam game was pretty awesome today. I tuned in not really knowing what was going on, and I was like, hey, I know these. I know this. I don't know why I insist on doing this part. I just like it, I guess. I don't know. There's something to me about doing little road activities like this. I feel like it's what gives my brain space to breathe. It's like why I am like obviously looking for like efficiencies, like process efficiencies for a lot of stuff, but sometimes it's nice to just like do something kind of menial. painting dotted lines on something. Yeah, he's pretty good with feedback. True. All right, so there's no reason to post a mirror of this because this is just the same thing twice. So let's move on to this one. Some stuff around a little bit. For like no good reason. Being chill improves efficiency too. Yeah, that's one of those like back of the brain moments. Like there's a lot of times when I'm doing something trivial like this and just thinking, and I have these huge breakthroughs. Or like that's why I enjoy like walking, just going for long walks on the weekend. Like I had been struggling a lot to come up with like the narrative structure of this game. I like could not figure out what it was going to be because like FTL's narrative structure is really tight and simple, and matches pretty much most other like run-based games where there are like forks like that, like where you make choices on different paths to go down and stuff. I wanted to do something different, and I think and then it just came to me, the whole like utilizing the 5-year mission. And there's so many cool things that can come as a part of that. Like you can have time jumps. You can have some pretty cool time jumps just as part of the mission. So like if you become adrift, like maybe time is just passing. Or like maybe it takes you a certain amount of time to figure something out or do a mission, and so you have less time, or maybe you do less missions. And then I was like, well, what do you do for the finale? What do you do for like the boss fight? And then like the idea of doing like a Wrath of Khan or like Star Trek the motion picture again, like a we're getting the band back together moment where you have a time jump and like all these characters have lived out their lives. Like maybe the ship is older now. Maybe it's like in mothball or something like that. Because that's always the thing. People love all that shit in Star Trek. I mean, that's like the obligatory, like getting the band back together moment. It's like everyone like going around the ship in a shuttle pod, like being like, oh, love that. Lower Decks parodied that so well in their Crisis Point episode. I rewatched that the other day, where they're like, this is what a Star Trek movie is, and they just like did it. Like, here's the formula. What is it? 9:16? We got time. Quite a bit of time. All right, there's another combination. I'm going to move this down. Why is this not the right size anymore? Oh, because it's not on the grid. Virtual Lego. Yeah. All right, so let's do one of these 4s. Let's do this one. Oh, we need to fix this. All right, ad break for a few minutes here. Hey, Enamoth, I saw you laugh, and it didn't occur to me that like I hadn't said hi to you yet. You had a good weekend. Make some more room here. Paint these back in. So now we can do the combo. Smoosh this on. This one too. All right, so there's the 2x2. I should probably annotate these. Although I don't know what I would call this. Because like this is a 1x2 or 2x1. This is a 3x1. This is a 2x2. The hell is this? Like, what do you call this? Maybe we don't. Maybe we don't bother trying to explain it that way. Let's do this. Let's move these up over here. They're boxes. Off by one, I guess. No. And we'll move this one over. Let's move the box over first. go. I'm gonna move these back. I've changed my mind about this. Soundtrack right now. All right, we're almost there. Thanks for hanging in there, everybody. So this we need to paint back. Hanging in there. I'm just like quietly doing this really boring stuff. Corners. Maybe. I'm not convinced that the corners determine anything. Unless you mean this stuff. I'm doing the painting right now. I'm like not convinced that the corner. Oh, you mean what do we call this? Yeah, we probably do call those corners, huh? Good point. Anonymous gifter with the 1 month gifted sub to Deep Space Renegade. Wow. I'm like tearing up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I sound deeply sarcastic. That's actually like really sweet. And thank you, Anonymous. It's very nice. It's a very nice thing to do to the newest member of our chat here. Yeah. Welcome to the crew here. Feel free to ship it. Hey, still needs work. How's it going? It's been a minute. Good. We did a bunch last week. We've got undo redo for our little tool set. We've got saving and loading. Now we're just trying to visualize the autotiling. So we're drawing out different tile combinations to visualize, to get a list of all the parts that we need. Getting through the list of things so you can get back to game dev. Right. You mentioned some of the stuff you're having to deal with. Yeah, hopefully life is like that. Sometimes it's like you want to work on game dev, but you don't have time. And then sometimes you have the time, but now you don't want to work on it anymore. It's like life can be unpredictable in that way. We just do what we can with what we got, I guess. Old Gandalf would say. Yeah, I hope all of that works out. I hope it goes relatively smoothly. Oh. This is wrong. How is this wrong? How did I do this? Such a fool. Take that out. Paint these ones back in. Yeah, there you go. You know what the actual quote. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us. Deep Space, you've been trying to hype yourself up to do beginner coding streams and maybe get help from chat. Hell yeah. Do it. I'm gonna follow you. Didn't realize you streamed. I'm around. I'll try to hop in. Interesting. These are the same. Yeah, we're seeing some interesting tile patterns already. I think our tile set is going to end up being a lot smaller than we maybe would have initially anticipated. What's the point of doing this? Be stupid. I'm gonna do it anyway, though. I actually like having some features on these tiles. I don't like having them be totally blank. Yeah, we love to see it. We love to see people starting on the game dev journey. It's a long and difficult road, but it is I think it's pretty rewarding, and I've never really even shipped anything. Although some of it gets tough. It's hard to motivate yourself to do some of it. Like we have a jam game. I say we, I mean me. Got a jam game that I really need to finish. To finish A Following Wind and just put the final version up on itch. I should have worked on it this weekend, but instead I was working on that serialization. But I'm glad I got the serialization up. It was tedious to get working correctly. It was hard to make sure we were getting the to pack and unpack the binary data from our tile map snapshots. It should have been easy, but I made a typo, and then I spent like half a day like debugging based on a typo. And that's game dev. All right. Build this shape here. All right, we're almost done. Oh, wait. I did this wrong. Oops. This is what we're doing. Getting ahead of myself here a little bit. This is the shape we were making. Oh, I did it again. Taking this shape here. Go. Wasn't really a reason to do this, except as a thought experiment. When I'm really struggling now, it's like what I'm gonna call this game, because its working title has always been Digital Iliad, and I've been working on it so long under that name. But then I made this channel, and now now Digital Iliad is like my brand. And now I'm making like jam games on the side. So now I'm like, should I still just make it that? Make it like a working title? Or not working title, like a self-title. Like bands have self-titled albums. I don't know. I broke my little order here. How about ship it? Ship it the game. Ship it is a verb. Ship it is what we do. We just say we're out here shipping it. Now I'm on a Digital Iliad. Yeah, true. It might end up still being called that. Also, what's so digital about it being sci-fi? Well, it's like digital in that, like, you know, the Iliad was about like dudes with spears and stuff, right? This is a little more. This was intended to, you know, be a little more sci-fi, but that's also a game that I adopted way before I realized that this was going to be like basically Star Trek. And now that I've realized it's basically going to be Star Trek, I don't know if it totally fits anymore. Maybe it's fine. It might end up being what we do. So I want to make another one of these that's like a 3x3 that's like hollow. Let's move this over. Down. Star Iliad. Oh, that is really long. That is a lot longer than the usual spam. Space Iliad. Classic dudes with spears move, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I've done the permutations of like what are all the different ways to basically say Star Trek without saying Star Trek? Like, you know, the Galaxy Quest style, like, of renaming it. And there aren't a lot of good ones. There are not a lot of good possible names. Some of the ones that tickled me were obviously already taken. Surprisingly, a large number of what you would come up with for a space game in terms of naming is already taken. It's kind of hard to come up with a name system that is new in this world we live in today. It is not easy. Cosmic Jaunt, yeah, that's pretty good. Oh yeah, no link either. It's like if you're gonna bother spamming, it's probably because the auto mod catches people that post the links. Star Homies? Star Homies is pretty good. I actually don't hate that. Do not hate Star Homies. One that came up during this like permutation process was like Astro Tramp. Because tramp means to like a number of things. It means like a cargo ship. It means like to take like a long, exhausting journey. But and I was like, oh, Astro Tramp, that's pretty cool. It's already a comic book, or not a comic book. It's like the name of a ship, and like it's like a short story series that someone made. So rip. But I thought that was funny. I thought it was a bad name, but I also thought it was funny. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't think it maybe communicated the Star Trekky-ness of it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think unlike the whole narrative structure thing that just came to me like a lightning strike, I don't think the name is going to come together like that, but hopefully it does someday. Chilling in the Space Hood. The Red Shirt Massacre. That actually sounds awesome. That is the awesome name for like that. Red Shirt reminds you of the Blizzard guy that asks questions. Space Hood. Chilling with my space homies. Yeah, there's something will come to us, or we'll end up just punting and just using Digital Iliad. Which again, I don't hate. It's kind of a little like self-titled, like a self-titled music album. Kind of reminds me of that. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what we're going to end up doing. Keep thinking about it. Maybe something will come to me. But yeah, I looked almost every like nautical space variation of like terms that I could think of, and like almost all of them has like a game in early access on like Steam. It's a tough time. It's a tough time to not to dissuade you, Deep Space Renegade, but it's a crowded market right now. Tough time to come up with something that's unique. I mean, hell, our whole pitch for this game is that it's like another game that everyone loved, which I don't think is bad, but I think it just shows how you really have to lean into like stuff that's already got the mind share. Why is this? Oh, this can go up. This can go up on this other level. It can go up here. Naming a game is worse than naming a variable. True. And naming a variable is already like the hardest thing in programming. But yeah, when you put it like that, it seems almost impossible. We'll see. We'll see what we end up with. I like double stroke. No, that doesn't work. I save some time and just like copy this part over. Not work for some reason. Why is this a different width? Oh, because that's too long or too wide or whatever. It's something. Let's fix it. Okay, we're cooking. We're getting a lot of the permutations down. I don't know why I'm doing this one. This one doesn't seem to mean anything. Like, I don't think this one needs to exist. I think I can get rid of this one. What's different between this and this? I'm not sure because I fucked this one up. Let's fix this first. Iliad Enterprise. Gameplay take place on a spaceship? Yes. Here's like a prototypical example. This is like a really shitty test ship, but it's a ship, but it's like a multi-layered ship. Like on this, in this little test area, you've got like a cargo bay. You've got like, I don't know, mid decks. I gotta do something about these doors. Having these doors be semi-transparent, I am not happy about. I think I want to cut them away fully and then leave an imprint on the ground of like the door, like an outline of it or something. I think that's what I'll do. Yeah, I need to start making exterior pieces too. We don't have that, and we need that. I'm a little worried that none of the ships are going to look very good because they're all being built out of modular parts. Like, I think it's going to be hard to get some really interesting, characterful designs, but we'll see. We'll see in terms of, like, the way the exterior shell looks. I think making an exterior shell that looks good is going to be a challenge. Do the players get to design the ship? Unclear. I'm going to design most of the ships probably. I might... I mean, obviously the dream would be to make this tool available in-game at least to modders. So, like, maybe you can't design your ship... Like, maybe you don't really get an opportunity to, like, rebuild your ship during a run. But maybe you can tweak it at times. Like, maybe we have a constrained version of it that lets you, like, deck out the rooms to an extent. Either functionally or, like, decoratively. And then definitely, like, a modder should be able to, like, make a new ship. I'm a little concerned about balance and enforcing, like, a good experience when the player can just build their own ships. So, I'm not sure. But this tool will at least help us make ships, which alone, that should be justification enough for doing it. All right, we're almost done. I'm going to say this is the last piece we need, this, like, full 3x3. I'm just getting rid of this. I don't understand why this exists. But I think that's the walls by themselves. And then tomorrow we'll do the walls plus floors, which the walls plus floors are going to get complicated. That's the main reason why we're not able to just use an existing autotiler. These all look good. Let's see. So, is this look meaningfully different from the other one? Does this look different from this? No. I'm just looking to see if I notice unique tiles. I'm pretty sure we don't care about corner pieces for just the walls. Is there space? Okay, hold on. I missed a couple things. Ships that are not going into atmosphere can look like anything, I suppose. True. They should look good, though. Is there space battles, then? Yes. They're going to be like FTL-style space battles. There will be a little different in that instead of just 1v1 space battles that are, like, position... agnostic, like they don't care about positions. In this game, there are going to be ship battles. So this is like the zoomed in view, which is going to be the view that lets you like move people around your ship. There will be a slightly zoomed out view where you'll be able to see if there's a ship on your left or on your or ahead of you or on your right or behind you. And that's where you'll like take your weapons, target your weapons. Maybe turn the ship if you want to, like... I want to have a little more directionality. Like, let's say, like, you need to turn your ship around because you're, like, your shields on the left are failing or your armor on the left is failing. So you want to turn the ship around and show your other side to the enemy that you're fighting. Like, have a little more maneuvering, but it's still not going to be free flying. Like, you're not going to fly your ship anywhere. There's just going to be, like, cardinal directionality of, like... They're ahead of us, or they're behind us, or they're on our left, or they're on our right. I think that's about as complicated as that part's going to be. You're not going to be flying ships around, per se. Not at least, like, free moving, you know? Oh, I need to fix this too. Like the Ishimura ship of Dead Space. Yeah, and that was the Ishimura. That is very like Event Horizon, which I, of course, love Event Horizon. We'll see. We're not going to be able to get like crazy shapes like that. Like, I think it's going to be hard to get anything other than these kind of denser, boxy things. The way we have our space laid out. Because I'm trying to avoid making it so that you need to like scroll your screen to like see your whole ship. That is not what I'm going for. I think that would be too confusing combined with the verticality. So the goal is to have the ship be viewable at all times. What did I do here? Oh no. Damn it. Copy this over. Drew the lines in the wrong place again. Or on the wrong layer. Kind of like Sims. So then you're the guys in the ship. So then your guys in the ship are reacting to what is happening around. Yeah, yes. Kind of like Sims, kind of like time management. Yeah, it's a management game. You're going to be like, oh, I need to send this crew member down to engineering to like fix this thing. Or I need to send a crew member over to like the aft guns because a ship is coming up behind us and I need a crew member on the aft guns. Or like, the crew member I sent to the aft guns like exploded. I need to send a doctor down there. Like, it's going to very much be about that, about crew management and time management because it's going to be pausable real time, probably. There's a potential world in which it's turn-based. But I would like to do pausable real-time. Even though pausable real-time games tend to be exploitable in terms of, like, the way you can interact with them over, like, turn-based, but I'm, like, okay with that. Alright, let's get rid of this. This part doesn't matter. Boink. Let's fix this. So we're almost out of time. We're going to finish this last ship combination, which is the 3x3, and then I think we're done with walls only. Then we'll do walls plus floors tomorrow. What is the level design going to be? So like managing more than one ship or a bigger ship. It's possible that you could manage more than one ship. I definitely want to have like boarding actions, like teleportation. So like, it's going to be hard to describe this exactly. So you've got this, and this is like, I said this was the zoomed in view. So let's say we zoom out once, maybe it's like, and then maybe we show this ship at like half scale or quarter scale, and you can't see inside the ship anymore. So now you're dealing with the ship overall, because you've zoomed out of this ship, and maybe there's like an enemy ship on your left or an enemy ship on your right, and maybe you teleport some of your guys over to the enemy ship on the left. So you zoom out from this ship, you can then zoom into the ship on the left, and then you're presented with this view, but now you're on the enemy ship. And now you've got guys running around the enemy ship. So I think it's definitely going to get confusing and a little hectic, especially if it's pausable real time. I mean, the pausable part is going to be super key there. But I think that'll be pretty cool. It's kind of like FTL, but like with some additional dimensions. The big ship release fighters. I'm not sure. There might be a little shuttlecraft, so that as an alternative to like teleportation, transportation. But I don't know. We do kind of have a scale limit that we really can't exceed. Like this is our scale limit. This is 5 decks. This is 5 decks, and each deck is a 15 by 15 grid, which is already like combinatorically huge. Like a Go board is 19 by 19, and like each of these decks are 15 by 15. Like, and I don't really want to make it bigger because I want to have room on the edges of the screen for like UI and stuff. So I don't think a ship is going to get bigger than this, so I'm not sure if there's going to be room for like things like fighter craft. But I don't know. These are the rules I'm establishing, and we may break them in the future. Are you thinking of a rounded hull to wrap the rooms in? Maybe. We might round them. I think what we're going to end up is coming up with exterior hull pieces. So, like, these pieces are all just full cubes. So maybe we draw a piece that's, like, triangular. Or maybe we draw a piece that's more rounded. So they're going to need to fit into these cubic spaces for the walls. But they can be different shapes. So yeah, we'll definitely need to make some exterior hull pieces. I'm less concerned about that, but I think there's some fun stuff you could do there where you could have armor ratings for your hulls, and the game like can tell if your ship is like heavily armored or if it's not, just based on how many of these hull pieces there are. I think there's some cool room for that. Fightercraft inside the ship that are released, kind of like a Star Destroyer releasing TIE fighters is what I was thinking. That would be cool. I don't know if we have the space to do that. We could maybe have drones, because drones don't have the same size requirements as a fighter. But I don't know. We could maybe do it on a really small scale. Like how, you know, the Bebop will hold like, you know, 2 ships or something like that, 2 fighters. It'll hold like Spike and whatever her name is. Hold their ships. But they aren't like aircraft carriers per se. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to play with the scale. It's also possible that there may be enemy ships that are bigger than like a playable ship. That's possible. And then those enemy ships could do things like that where they spawn additional ships or something. Why is this not right? Oh, because I need to get rid of this. I think we got them. Okay, that should be it. So let's build this. Let's compress this into one shape here. Yeah, drones might fit. Fighters could be zoomed out, but the problem is you would need to be able to see them in the zoomed in mode if it's a ship that you can zoom into. I think in general, the scale of the ships in this game are going to be lower than you might see in other games, just because there is an interior space to the ship and there are interior crew members. Or there are crew members. So like we're not going to get to like Cosmotier scale ships. Like you're not going to see a ship with like a cruise and like the hundreds or anything like that. Your crew will probably be like what, like maybe like a dozen people max. Because I also don't want to overwhelm the player. So I don't want to like go crazy with the scale. I need it to be manageable. I need you to be able to reasonably track everything that's going on in your head to an extent. So it's unclear if you would be able to do that if the ships are so big. Like as big as they would need to be to hold fighter craft and things like that. But I don't know. We'll see. We're doing a lot of guesswork. We're going to need to test a lot of this out. So we really don't know what the possibility space holds until we try it. Oh, this is wrong. One of these is wrong. Why is this wrong? What did I just... Yeah, these ones are wrong. These... Get rid of this. here. Oof, I am pretty much out of time. Let's finish this though. You think if I were able to create different scenes with closer viewpoints for just one floor, could that be a thing? So different scene would mean you could have whatever objects you wanted because it's a representation of just zooming in. Yeah. So it's definitely something. I mean, there's a certain zoom level because this is pixel art that we cannot, we can't go further than, or it will be distorted. But we could certainly do some lotting. I'm not sure how much work that would be. And like control the zoom level. I just don't want to go too crazy so that the game seems like uncontrollable. Or there's just too much going on. And we won't really know what too much feels like until we've got stuff running around. It's just the simple. I heard just today that the average person can hold like 7 objects in memory at a time. Yeah, something like that. So there's some limitation. There are limitations that we need to work around. We'll see. We'll see what ends up being the case. All right. So this was good. I think it'll be more complicated, but probably even more helpful to do the floor and wall combos next time. So we'll keep working on this, and then at the end we should have just a list of all the tiles that we need. But yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out while we worked on this. Game or something of a game jam. You also have macros for some of it? Yeah, possibly. We'll see. It'll be one thing. It's going to be the sort of thing where, like, if it's a turn-based game, it'll be easier because you can do the civilization, like, next unit, like, click next unit, click next unit. So, like, you never have a situation where you're like, I didn't assign orders to my units. But if we make it pausable real time, then yeah, people could pause constantly anytime something happens, which, like, the most hardcore people will do because that's just how people think. But I want to make it so that people don't feel like they have to do that. We'll see. We'll see what we end up with. Oh, Fox is still live? Oh, that was the theme of the first Fox Hollow Jam? Awesome. Yeah, speaking of Fox still streaming, let's figure out who we're gonna raid. I do gotta go to work now. Let's see who in our team is streaming. I don't think Fox is in our stream. Practical is in our team. That's cool. Who's this? Who's Monodono? Oh, okay. Let's see what we got in Godot. Oh, Fox is playing Dark Souls. Let's see if anyone's doing Godot. 26 for Armus. They're doing analysis. That's interesting. Hey, you stuck around in there for a bit? Yeah, we can go back there. I don't see nothing else is standing out to me. I mean, we got Sorcery Story. We have like our good buds that we can go hang out. But yeah, Fox Hollow's still going strong. I know they're trying to figure out if they can make this be their full-time deal, and so let's try to support them as much as possible. I think we'd all like to see Fox Hollow be doing this full-time. Yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out. We'll be back tomorrow. Possibly extra long stream on Thursday since it's holiday. We'll see. That's possible. But yeah, thank you all. Good to see you. Still needs work. Welcome to the chat, Deep Space Renegade. As always, thanks for hanging out, Cubus, and everyone else who's lurking. Thank you. Thank you for hanging out with us today. We'll be back tomorrow. But until then, I'm gonna see you all next time. Bye. Oh yeah, join the Discord if you like. You'll get live stream alerts. Thanks, Cubus. All right, here we go. Hit him with the ship it if you can. That's going to be our raid message.